Murderbot is probably among the sex units as famous as the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon. I hate spoilers, but I want to talk about Platform Decay so much. And as much as I trust the Murderbot subreddit, I don't trust them entirely to open the ones that are like, you know, Platform Decay Chapter 2. I don't trust you. So I figured instead of doing my normal, like, read the whole book and then talk about it, or like do like a reading vlog, because this is an audiobook and I don't know how I would do that. This is going to be like a check-in every so often and I'll say what I think. The beginning of this book was jarring, not because art wasn't there or because Murderbot actually wasn't in its body yet, but because it starts with RB Media being like, oh, we're a big audiobook company. Buy your audiobooks from us. RB Media is the largest audiobook publisher in the world. I had to check some of the other Murderbot books I own. They don't do that in any of the other ones. So, and I don't know why, but just for me, I'm so used to listening to the Murderbot books that it really like took me back. I was like, what is this? It just sits a little bit funny in a book that's always like criticizing corporations and stuff. And I know books are good. Anyway, my thoughts on the actual contents of the book. There is a notable absence of art, which for me feels very obvious because I just finished the last book, and the last book ends with Murderbot and art being like, oh, where to next? I don't know, where to next? And don't quote me on that, it's something like that. So I was definitely expecting Murderbot to be in a group with art, and we're not getting that. We're in 3's head, and Murderbot and 3 are going on a mission, and Murderbot is like angry. And this is the first time, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, the first time that Murderbot's identified an emotion. Normally, Murderbot says, I'm feeling an emotion. And I feel like the emotions that, when Murderbot's like, I'm feeling an emotion, normally it's like a very complicated one because it's like questioning its identity or someone's actually cared for it, things like that. This is anger. And has Murderbot felt anger before? I guess we'll never know, but now Murderbot has this like module thing that makes it check in with its emotions, and it's always anger. And it's just the frequency at which it has to check in with its emotions is quite amusing. I mean, bad, but amusing to me. Like all Murderbot books, I've no idea what the plot is so far. I just about was following what Murderbot and 3 were doing, and then Murderbot was sort of like, psych, I'm not really there. Which sort of threw me completely as well, because my brain is picturing something, and maybe it's because it's the audiobook and maybe I wasn't paying attention, did not realize that it was only one of them. So I like, in my head, I'm picturing 2 sec units, and then Murderbot's like not there, so I have to like, my brain's like, rewrite. Anyway, so, but really good. Happy to see 3. I'm worried that we won't see much of 3 going forward with this book. I feel like 3's off on a little side mission and will probably pop up later on. As for who's kidnapped, my immediate thought is Art or Mensa, mainly because 1, Art's not there. 2, Mensa's always getting kidnapped, and I feel like Mensa is the person that would like elicit an anger response from Murderbot, you know? But my thinking is that Mensa and Art have been recently kidnapped. So it can't be them. And Mensa's always being kidnapped. It can't always be Mensa, right? Something about these first 2 chapters as well that's sitting weird with me is that it feels very lonely, and I can't quite explain it. I think maybe as well it's because Murderbot is on its own, and the last few books we've opened with Murderbot with like a crew or in the middle of something, and this book we've sort of gone back to almost how it felt when Murderbot first like left the preservation crew and is now like wandering around as like a free sec unit, and it feels like that, and it feels isolated, it being the book and Murderbot, and yeah, it's just very interesting, and I feel like it does remind me of the early days. Also, these like artificial scenery things in this place I think also make this really like lonely, isolated feeling, because none of it's real, you know? None of the stuff is real. It's all man-made, it's all fake, and just for like visual aesthetics, and it doesn't like mean anything. And I think that's adding to like this sense of like isolation and loneliness, and also probably because Murderbot is missing someone, even though I don't know who it is yet. I'll check in later. So is Mensa's family kidnapped? Which makes sense. Like it had to be someone to do with Mensa, but it couldn't be Mensa again. She's been kidnapped too many times. And they're not really kidnapped. I mean, they're held hostage by Leonid in order for Leonid to get Mensa's security people to help her people. Interesting that she wants to save people from indenture when she was very happy to indenture an entire planet. So I'm interested to see what makes these people so special. Is it just because she cares about them? Little Rich. I mean, I'm judging her a lot considering she's dead. So I guess it's she's absolved of her crimes because she's dead now. But her death hit very different than the other books. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is the slowest death we've had. And like tonally it felt very different. We have like they're all like escaping because the security people have turned up. Murderbot like shields Aenid from like the explosion, but still she gets like hurt enough that she doesn't make it. And it's that, I think, because most of the deaths in this book are like quick and we're fighting. And I think normally it's like targets and enemies who die, and Murderbot doesn't really lose clients to like death. I feel like I could be misremembering. I feel like a person hasn't died who's been on like Murderbot's team maybe ever. So this did hit a little bit hard. I felt like anyway, and I feel like it's hitting a little bit hard for Murderbot. And yeah, it was the fact that she was like getting medical treatment and then they're like, oh, she only has a couple minutes, and that felt tonally very different from all the other deaths in this book. It was like sad. And I think because it was slow, and also because she didn't dive into the tunnel first, she waited for the other people to go. So she waited to be last. So it was also that aspect of it, which like is common in fiction and stuff, But yeah, it doesn't sit with the way she was characterized in the the first book she shows up in. So yeah, fascinated. Very fascinated. I'm very excited to see what makes her human so special and so different, why they're worth saving. I finished chapter 7. We have the pirates that have turned up, and so much has happened, but also nothing really at all. Basically, we have a new rogue sec unit that's like running around, and Murderbot had like a little conversation with it, and we learn that it had Murderbot 3? I can't remember. Oh, Murderbot and Art's baby that like was it malware? Help me. Whatever we're calling Murderbot and Art's baby, its code is the other sec unit has that. And it's just, first of all, it's just so funny to me that all these like rogue sec units are running around having, I imagine, watched Murderbot's little like backstory packet, which is funny to me, of like, it was the bit of like it going to like the film festival of preservation and then like turning up to like Amina to like crash her and the guy she was with. Like, it's just so funny that they're all like, they all have that together. That's their uniting force. Yeah, I feel like if this was a different book, this would turn into like a situation where like Murderbot is their god. In the world of sec units, Murderbot's little packet is probably watched more than the Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. Murderbot is probably among the sec units as famous as the Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. I don't really have any like strong feelings about Mensa's family yet. Like I like them enough. I'm just not really invested in them beyond the fact that they're Mensa's family. I like Sophie. I enjoy her. We don't really see many young kids in these books, which for good reason. It's called the Murderbot Diaries. But yeah, I like her. I like the different dynamic she brings to a group, and we have like more extreme ages with this little group trying to run around. We have like someone older who needs an aid, and then we have someone younger. I think she's like 9. But who knows, honestly. She could be literally any age. I'm saying 9. She could be older and be a little bit naive because of the preservation stuff, because she's from like more of a sheltered planet. But I don't know. Who knows? Also, sometimes you get kids that are far younger and they talk older because they're like hanging out with adults all the time. We'll never know because Murderbot will never tell us. Maybe Martha Wells will. Or if it makes it as far to the show, we might get someone cast. But yeah, I do enjoy them. I feel like the older woman is going to get on with Murderbot really well. I feel like they're going to become really good buds, mainly just because of like, she seems like grumpy enough and like stubborn enough to be friendly with Murderbot, I really like the moment where they steal the flyer and then these pirates come and Farai says to like Murderbot like, oh, before you go, you know, do whatever you can to keep my family safe, something along those lines. And Murderbot's like, fuck yes. And I just, yeah, I like it. I like just Murderbot being able to be on the same page as people, even though it's obviously Murderbot's going to do what it wants. It's nice for it to know that Mensa's humans aren't going to judge it, like, for doing maybe heinous things. And then when it takes down the two people and it does like an emotion check and it's like feeling pretty good, actually. I like that. I just, yeah, I am enjoying the book. I'm not like, you know, really like in it like maybe yet, but who knows? Why did it get really dark? I feel like it got really dark. Anyway, that's all. I'll check in later. So I've just finished chapter 9. I'm on chapter 10. The book is feeling a little bit more like heavy than the other ones. And I cannot tell if it's because I've become so desensitized to the like violence and heavy themes in this series because I've re-listened to them so many times. Like this one is fresh. And is that why it feels like a lot? I don't know. Or is it like Murderbot's feelings about it as well? Because now it has this new like emotion checker, and is that where I'm getting this like heavy feeling from? But then I feel like the events that are happening in this book feel a little bit more like, I can't quite find the right words I want to use for this. Like the bad things that are happening in this book feel more grounded in reality, I suppose. It's all feeling like just a little bit more serious and a little bit less like comic book like violence. Does that make sense? I don't really know, but that's the energy I'm getting from this bit of the book anyway. So first of all, we have the pirates. Murderbot's like restrained two of them and it's gone into like the other ship to attack the other people. It's kind of setting up to be this like, you know, fun, like attacky kind of Murderbot style, defeat everyone in a really competent way thing, because Farai gives Murderbot the like okay to do what it needs to do, and it's like, fuck yes. But then it turns up and the people are like, you know, upset and don't want to be in a fight, and they're like, why are you doing this? Even though we know they're lying, and Murderbot's trying to push it onto us that they're bad people, and I believe that, but also, yeah, just it's very hard to be rooting for Murderbot to kill people who are like begging for their lives, which is exactly what Murderbot's facing, because then it's like trying to justify its violence by trying to encourage them to attack it and being like, well, if all of you run at me at once, you might stand a chance. Which, like, as a line is silly and fun, but as like a concept is a little bit like bleak, because it's Murderbot just like kind of trying to goad them into attacking it, so it has like a clear conscience to attack them, and they don't do that. So then the solution, I feel like, is probably a better one than Murderbot having to like fight all these people. But yeah, this feels like a shift in this book, and I'm trying to work out if that's because of the emotion checker or something else, or I don't really know. And then the original spark for this feeling I'm having was, of course, that Leonid died. And now we've like tracked down Leonid's family, and Murderbot sees the like footage of where they are, and we see body bags, and that feels dark. I don't know why the like something about body bags just feels heavier and more grounded and real and awful. Yeah, so from where I'm at in the book, it seems like Leonid's, like the adults in her family are dead, and it's just the kids that are left alive. So now this is turning into like a rescue mission to get the kids out. But yeah, it's all just feeling a little bit bleak. And I don't know, were the other books bleak? I feel like the book where Art was like kidnapped and we're searching through, and Murderbot's kind of always looking for evidence that like Art's humans were killed, and it's looking for like, you know, forensic evidence. That feels a little bit bleak. But in my reread, I of course know that Murderbot's not going to find that. So that's what I'm wondering. Is it just because this is a new book to me and I'm suddenly being reminded that this world is actually kind of awful? I don't know. Have I become desensitized to it? Or is this like purposeful drawing us into the fact that this world is awful again? Like, is Martha Wells doing this? Or is this my brain doing this? Is my question. Also, more evidence for Sophie's age. She's holding Naja's hand. I think it's Naja. I think so. I'll have to check. I'll learn in a minute when I start reading again. She's holding her hand, and that makes me think 8. maybe. And then when they depart, she's like sending Murderbot all these little like glyphs, and but then is that, oh, I don't know. Also, like, this is a made up world. How am I to know how children act in a different world than ours? 8. I know that sounds silly because 8 and 9 is so similar, but I just feel like a 9-year-old is almost not holding someone's hand anymore, and an 8-year-old might be. I don't know. Watch me get to the end of this book and be like, she's 4. I just finished chapter 12. We're in real Murderbot, classic Murderbot territory now, you know, we're going in, retrieving people, shooting things, getting up to stuff, talking to other, like, bots. It's all feeling very, like, normal. It feels like The Promise, you know? It feels like what you read a Murderbot book for, and it is a lot of fun. I admit it's a lot of fun. It's feeling, the rescue felt very easy, like, suspiciously easy. I know that they lost like two humans in the process, maybe 3. But they didn't really lose them because when they got there they were already dead. So they just kind of went in, grabbed the kids and left. Like, I know we had, like, you know, Farai being like moving the bed aside and Murderbot's all impressed. But yeah, it felt very easy. It makes me feel a little suspicious that something else is going on, but I feel like we have so little of the book left that I'm thinking maybe this is all it is. I continue to love seeing Murderbot interact with younger humans. It's a lot of fun because it shows where Murderbot's gaps are as well. Because I think I'd imagine in a lot of like the shows Murderbot watches, there aren't many kids because like I feel like the genre of show Murderbot likes, it's not really watching things that have like real portrayal of human kids. So it feels like this is a little bit of like a blank spot for Murderbot. So like Murderbot's trying to convince the slightly older kid to leave, and it's like trying to logically reason with the kid and be like, oh well, if I can get you a feed thing, I'll show you the packet. Whereas Farai, who is a mum, is just like, you have a choice. You can come with us or you cannot. We're leaving. That's your choice. Okay, let's go. What I've noticed about this section is how Murderbot is treated now that it's been like co-signed by like a family unit, and it's now being given the benefit of the doubt, which I find so fascinating. So this was like brought up earlier in the book when Murderbot was going somewhere and Farai was like, I'm coming with you because it'll look better if you've got a person with you. And Murderbot's like, yes, logically, rogue sec units don't travel alone. But I think it is also like, it's not even that people might see it as a rogue sec unit, it's also that they see it with a group of people, with kids, with an older person. It's all sort of like saying, you know, this is a good, trustworthy person, because that's what people do. It's an odd thing, because you can be awful and have a family. But, you know, it's what humans do. And I think it is, interesting. It's very much, I feel like, highlighted in this book. Like, we have the bit of them trying to leave and Murderbot's carrying the kid, and they get to these, like, I think, are they mercenaries? I don't know. Security people, and when normally that would be a thing where we'd have to like get through and like hack something or find a way through, they just let them breeze on by because it's a family and Murderbot has a kid, and you know, it's the benefit of the doubt, which interesting. And then we have another instance of like the crowd is there and they all part for Naja, and it's sort of showing the, you know, the humans sort of valuing her and making way for her and giving her space to move, which Murderbot wouldn't get. And then we have another instance of the families all like talking and discussing what their plan's going to be, because like now Barriss Stranza's like closing in and everything's a bit of a panic, and they're sort of loudly discussing the fact that Murderbot's going to like deal with them. And then the people part for Murderbot to let Murderbot through, because I imagine the fact that like the family sort of, you know, given their seal of approval on Murderbot, trustworthy person. A awful murdering person wouldn't be hanging around with 3 children, an old person and Farai. And I would imagine this kind of gave Murderbot the confidence to like go up and blend in with the humans, because it goes up and it hides behind the kiosk with a bunch of like the security people, and it's like telling them information that it's got from its drones and stuff, and it's like, oh, I'm a security consultant, and they're like, oh, thank God. And I just think it's so nice that Murderbot's like, you know, joining people and like working as a little team, kind of, or even though, you know, kind of does leave them straight away and is sort of advising things based on what's best for its clients and not what's best for the entire population. But, it helps all of them, so it's fine. Oh, and also, so part of Murderbot's plan is that it floods something, it ends up, like, in the water, and then the people on the boat, like, wave over to it and, like, haul it out of the water, which, again, how nice that they're helping. And I think it is just, yeah, it's really nice to see. We're quite far into the series right now, and I don't feel like I could have imagined people helping Murderbot in the beginning. And yes, it is because they think it's a human, but it does still feel nice to have, like, humans helping it instead of, like, leaving it to drown in the water, which is what they would do normally. Would they have done it if they had known it was a sec unit? Probably not. But who knows? It definitely feels like this is the most Murderbot has ever blended in as a human. And then it holds Sophie's hand. And it says it's holding Sophie's hand because that looks better. For, like, the cover of everything, like a rogue sec unit wouldn't be holding a juvenile's hand, but it definitely wants to. The way it says it means it definitely wants to. And it feels like it does remind me of previous book when Mensa takes Murderbot's hand. And I feel like, has it only been Mensa and now Sophie that hold Murderbot's hand? Yeah. Ah. Also, the little quip about the security people not recognising Barish's Strands' logo is quite funny. Like, Murderbot being like, not very good branding. Yeah. I sometimes forget how big this like, this universe is, that they just don't know the logo of that place. Because there's probably so many logos that how would you know everywhere? I just assume that, for some reason, it's a very small universe, but that doesn't make any sense. I've one chapter left. Still no Free. I really did think we were going to see a little bit more Free, considering that's how the book started, but it's fine. I'll get over it. I'm sure Free will turn up in another book. I don't need to see 3, really. I like the whole dynamic of, like, Free to sec units. I think it's really interesting. But, yeah. And still no art. I mean, I've accepted it now that there's no art in this book. Because why would art be there? But, yeah. Oh well. I finished chapter 13, the last chapter in the book. I really liked the conclusion of this. I know I've been saying that the book has a slightly darker tone to it and a feeling to it. But I was really pleased with the way it ended. I thought it was really nice. I really liked the whole solution of it. I loved them getting onto the shuttle and having all of their people there and Mensa there and Murderbot lying to Farai that Mensa wasn't around, which is, like, standard at this point. Like, if Murderbot's gonna lie to the humans, that makes sense. But yeah, it was really good. And the poor kid, Leonid's kid, who wasn't, like, tricked by anyone, like, evil corporation people, was just tricked by their dad. So sad. And then, like, she gets onto the shuttle and then sees Mensa reunite with her family and, like, have this outpouring of emotion and showing very clearly that they all really love each other. And then she doesn't have that with her people. And it's just, yeah, it's sad. I feel like it is kind of also a mirror to how Murderbot has felt. And, we've got another person who's looking at Mensa, who's very publicly loving her family and seeing that that's, like, possible. Mensa's this, like, shining beacon to people who have awful relationships with, like, corporates, that, like, it's possible to have, like, a lovely family and, very publicly just like each other. Hopefully Leonid's daughter gets, like, a similar journey to Murderbot in that she can find people, find her people and be happy and accepted. God, what an awful place to grow up in. This whole setup is just a nightmare for children. And also, the dad was very lackadaisical about all of her family members dying. Crazy. And perfectly fine with the other sibling getting taken away, because, like, that, I assume that wasn't his biological kid. Nightmare. Typical, absolutely fucking typical to be like, no, you, my blood, I want you. The other one, she can go. She's not my blood. Let her go with the murdery sec unit. And 3 turned up. I really love 3. I love every scene that 3 is in. I find it really endearing, and the way it gives Murderbot, like, a thumbs up at the end, perfect. What I did not like is Murderbot's tone with 3, and Murderbot's tone as well, in this book, I've had a slight iffy relationship with something. Just, it feels different, and maybe because it's got this emotion checker in now that it's a little bit different. I feel like Murderbot has these moments of frustration, and I feel like I'm supposed to interpret it as like a comedic thing, and I'm not finding it comedic. I'm finding it a little jarring, like almost scary. And I've never really felt like that in other Murderbot books. I've always felt like I'm with Murderbot, but maybe because it's yelling in its narration, its frustration, I'm finding it really uncomfortable. I don't know. And I'm not sure. And this isn't like a critique on like Kevin R. Free. I love the Kevin R. Free audiobooks. I always have. And I wouldn't want anyone else to narrate them. To me, Murderbot is Kevin R. Free. But I don't know how I feel about this direction that we're going in, and I don't like it. And I'm hoping that maybe it is, I am feeling the way I'm supposed to feel, and this would be like, you know, brought up in a following book, hopefully. Because Murderbot's obviously on a journey to like fix its emotions, and maybe this is just like a product of that. I don't know. The main one that made me feel a little uncomfortable, or as like the Real Housewives would say, made me feel some kind of way, was this it was expressing its frustration at the location that they're at, and it was just like, oh, I just don't know, it was just the tone was hard. I tried to find it but I didn't clip it, and there's no way I'd be able to find that one little moment because I can't remember where in the plot it was, but just the tone was a lot for me, and I didn't like it. And it does like a similar tone with 3, and it like gets quite frustrated at 3, and I found the frustration a lot. I didn't find it like comical, and I don't know why, because I've never felt this about any of the other books. And Murderbot, I feel like, is frustrated a lot of the time, but the frustration is reading more as anger, and it's reading more like it's towards me. But yeah, I love 3. I love that it's making its own decisions. I love that now it's like so much itself that it's creating its own individual beef with art. Overall, I really liked it. I don't think it's my favourite Murderbot book. I think my favourites are still Artificial Condition and Network Effect. Maybe? I'll have to double check. I think those are my favourites. But yeah, I liked this one. It was good. I think I'll enjoy it on a reread a little bit more. I don't know. I just feel like I enjoy all the Murderbot books more on a reread. So we'll see how I feel about it after a reread. I really liked meeting Farai. I think she's a great character, and I hope if we have more books, she will be in them, but maybe not. I mean, I feel like it's not really her place to be running around in space and doing Murderbot things, so maybe less. Maybe we won't see as much of her, but I would like to see more of her, hopefully. I'm still holding out for Donna Benna to turn up in a future book, because I'm convinced Mickey has been, you know, rebooted and will turn up one of these days and be like, Sec Unit, we were friends, Donna Bennett told me about you, besties. Like, I'm waiting for that, and I hope to see it one day, but maybe not. Every new book I'm like, is Mickey here? No, still no Mickey, but whatever. And no Garothin. I miss Garothin. I want the core group. My wish for a future book would be to see more of the original characters in the original book. Like, I'm happy Mence is here, but I'd like to see Garothin again, please. Maybe one day. I hopefully with, you know, the series doing well and people liking Garothin in the series, maybe Martha Wells will pander to us. And I did like seeing a new location. I feel like we haven't seen like a living location in a while, because we were on that like alien remnants planet for a bit, so it was really interesting to see like an actual working area where people are moving through, and there's like real humans who aren't like, you know, isolated humans in their own like society. Like this felt more like a ticking alive real place, and that I thought was really fun. I love this world. I genuinely find it really fascinating, really interesting. It was really good. It was good. It was good. It just wasn't my favorite, which isn't a negative thing, because I genuinely really love the series. So of course I have favorites, and this one just happens to not be my favorite. But it's good. It's good. It's not bad. And the best thing is now I get to look on the subreddit and see what everyone's saying without fear of being spoiled. So very excited about that. That's what I'm going to spend the next while doing. Yeah, so let me know what you thought of this book. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? What was your favorite bits? And yeah, I'd love to hear it. Do you think Mickey's still alive, which has nothing to do with this book, but I would love to know your thoughts on that. And yeah, let me know what you thought. Okay, bye.